it will demoralize and give you a good crossfire on the enemy and small your tactics. But like I said, most of the time you will be ambushing or reacting to contact, most of the time. If we do have to attack and it's not an ambush, you probably want to do the flank, and we'll practice and keep on trying to get good at it. So a lot of times you just want to get them in a crossfire. You should only do flanking when you have combat multipliers on your side. What are some combat multipliers?
Numbers.
Night vision, thermal.
Yeah, night vision, thermal technology, optics.
Surprise.
Surprise! That's a big one.
Terrain.
Terrain. Any other ones? Grab we have a whole list. And you have them outnumbered, you have good terrain, you come on multipliers on your side, then that's when you don't lay down file, keep them pinned down, and you'll send the team around your flank. And you can either assault through or just give them a crossfire, and then after that go through the bodies and see what's there, what's after you got to control. But again, you never know how many enemies out there, so you got to be careful and put all this in your plan. Okay? So suppressive fire. What is the suppressive fire? What do you guys call, how do you define that?
Cover fire.
Okay?
Cover fire?
Yeah. I would say suppressive fire is maintaining accurate fire with volumes on an enemy target. You agree? You don't have to just sit there and just keep on hammering the triggers. You'll keep them down by making good shots, bang, 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 on target and keeping them from moving.
Yep.
We'll avoid hitting the wall. Do we all know what I mean by hitting the wall down here? That's tunnel vision. That means basically, I've lost sight of my front target or my optics, and all I'm doing is shooting. It's just pointing and shooting. We got to avoid doing that. We got to stay on target and make our shots count. If your team, your suppressive fire team, and you got a flanking team is what you have. If the suppressive fire team, if you have any 308 rifles, like the AR-10 and stuff, you probably want to leave them on the suppressive fire team. Because we've done a lot of testing down here with different caliber ammos and different ammo. The 308 does a wonderful job of punching through obstacles, and much more than a 5.56 or an AK. Formations. Basically, good formations is the key when you're going down through here and you're doing this. We like the file formation, we like the Y formation, and all file formation is not typically the typical Army file. We have different types of fires that we just call file, where we have 2 teams, 3 and 2, you know, moving through, overwatching, and all that. They're hard to beat here in the woods, especially if you go to where one guy's moving at a time, everybody else taking a knee. You disappear in the brush where it's hard for the enemy to see you. If you got 2 teams moving through there, they're overwatching each other, they're moving in step. They got good camouflage, good sound discipline, and only one guy moving at a time, and everybody else is either taking a knee or sitting on the ass, depends on what your shape's at. It's hard to find them, so you can able to sneak up on somebody and do a flanking attack. Basically, you have different types of flanking. You have more of a hasty flank and a deliberate flank. What is a hasty flank?
So fast.
Fast.
Impromptu on the moment.
On the moment, you have to move. You got to get guys over there. What's a deliberate?
Plan of action going off of recon.
Yeah. You basically.
The plan of action going off of reconnaissance. You have information of somewhere. So a hasty is like we're coming up over a hill and like, shh, I hear something. And you send one guy up over the hill, your point man, he's like, yeah, there's 4 guys over there. They don't need to know we're here. They're going to be going this way. We're doing it right now, hasty ambush. Let's go down here and get it done. Where a plan would be like, hey, you're going to go to this grid point, be there by 10 o'clock because there's 2 medical trucks coming through there and we need supplies.
When you're doing the flanking attack, you have 2 teams. You have a suppressive team and a flanking team. The flanking team needs to move in on a 90-degree angle. When doing this, it will expose the enemy to a crossfire and a very low chance of friendly fire, the most you can get. It makes the enemy look and shoot at two different locations as they ran behind the flank in a flanking attack. The team that is flanking must move quickly, but not so quickly that they lose awareness. They can move shoulder to shoulder or in overwatch. We'll go into that, what that means. You have two guys here. You have a four-man suppressive team. One guy watching the rear, because you always want guys to watch the rear. Because there could be other guys come up and attack you. You have these guys laying down fire, need to be. You have two guys flanking around. Okay? The reason why you want to come in on 90, and again, you got to use terrain, you got to use cover, but you want to shoot for the textbook wherever 90 is if you come in too shallow, you have more time to be in this guy's line of fire. You know what I'm talking about? His kill zone. If you come in too deep, you have more time for the guy to be the fire, in the line of fire of your team. Make sense? If you come in at 90, you have less time in the kill zone. Because what happens is, when these guys shot into the kill zone, these guys need to stop firing, lift fire, or divert fire. This is the toughest thing to be done here. Because especially in the woods, that's the reason why we don't necessarily recommend this, we're just going over it. Because it's hard to coordinate this movement and lift fire or direct fire to a different way. Because radios fail when you call, you know what I mean? Guys cannot hear the radios. Sometimes guys ain't paying attention to the radios. So that's the reason you have to use other things like throwing smoke. That works, but it takes time for the smoke to go up. That makes sense? Go ahead.
There's also another big thing on radio, auditory exclusion, which a lot of people in any kind of firefight, military or police, they will not remember hearing any calls over the radio.
Yes.
Because the focus is totally on the battle at hand. So that radio could just be as absolutely useless.
I agree. At some point, if they want to assault through the kill zone, they have to. These guys have to lift fire, you know. So that's the real tricky part. That's what I'm saying. We're a much better fan here of this getting people in a crossfire and pound them into nothing than it is to try to assault the kill zone.
Yeah.
Because chances of doing it is slim to none down here in the woods. It's just so tough because again, you tell them the radio, they don't quit, like you said.
Yeah.
You throw smoke. Sometimes I've seen it where the smoke has blocked these guys' view so they can't see nothing, you follow me? And it takes fire for the smoke to get up. You can blow a wish so that. Now, they also teach you to redirect fire. Just in case if the enemy runs this way because they're being pushed this way. That is true, but most of the time we see it down here. The enemy, if they do retreat, they go this way. You agree? Most of the time they go back over, especially if they have a retreat plan. Now, again, when everybody's shooting, you hit the wall, you get tunnel vision, no one's paying attention to anything, everybody just starts shooting. That's the reason why we try to control our shooting, not do the lumberjack theory with our guns and mow down trees, because then everybody gets excited. We've seen it down here where guys thought somebody was over here and everybody opens up and everybody's jumping my game, there's nobody even over there. Some other times you might want to flank is like clearing a danger area. You agree? So what you want to do is, let's say you have something here, a log or a rock or something, okay? And it's on a high point. So you worry about putting your team through there, somebody's shooting at you. So you might put your team up, something like this, and then you might flank guys around to clear it, and you meet back up over here. You follow me? These guys are suppressing fire. These guys are seeing what's there. Again, if there is an enemy there, you give it a crossfire. Most of the time, if there is a guy there and they see guys flanking, what happens is they're probably going to try to do a spot ambush on you. Is probably what they're trying to do. They're trying to do a form of a spot ambush. Now, since you cleared the danger area, their gig is up. They don't have supplies. They got to react to 2 groups now. They're not really sure what to do. So a lot of times they will, if they're doing a good spot ambush, they have a retreat plan. We'll go over that on ambushing. And they'll get the heck out of Dodge. Now, if they do retreat, what should you do?
Just going back up and keep pursuing.
Don't chase them, right?
Yeah, don't chase.
Chase them, let them go. Because again, we've had it down here where it was a flank or where it was a trick to get you suckered into a bigger ambush. So this will be a lot of the flanking you guys will be doing is danger areas or cover or something along them lines, not the attack, flank attack. We'll go over it, but again, having these guys try to shock this area and these guys lift or shift fire at the right time in the woods is just not going to happen. I'm just being honest with you. It's just not going to happen. You don't get guys shot. You follow me? And there's no reason to deal with injuries. It's much better just give it a crossfire where they're going to go. If they do retreat, they're gone out. You're not getting ambushed. That's the reason why we're a big fan of clearing danger areas and dealing with danger areas. Now, before you send them guys to go up here to flank, what can you do here to help your situation and find out if anybody's up there or not?
Throw a couple grenades.
We don't have grenades. What can we do? We went over to the last class on security patrols. See, stop, look, listen, smell. So what's the ways that we can avoid friendly fire?
Radio contact, being where you're supposed to be.
How many times have we seen it where one guy, they send a team around, they lose track of them, they open up on their own team members thinking it's the enemy. Here's a big one. Me and Chance have seen this firsthand. The way they're moving. They're moving like ODF members. They've been trained this way. The way they're moving their team through here, their formations and how they're moving like ODF. I mean, we've seen that before. We realized it must have been some of our guys. Remember that we go up to the 5th? Mm-hmm. You know, so again, chances are it's probably one of your team members. Because like we said, a lot of people do not train this way. The most important thing is identify what you're shooting at. Just don't stop blowing down the woods because you see something moving. Because there's 2 things you can count on down here in all the force-on-force stuff we do. Radio problems and some dumbass will already shoot another dumbass. What's the best way to defend against a flanking attack if you're the ones being flanked or attacked?
Go back.
Yeah, peer out, react your eyes, react your eyes. You're ambushing most of the time, or you are reacting to contact. That's mostly what you're going to do as a small team. Use the terrain as your advantage.
Situational awareness.
Hit and run tactics. You see them coming, do you have you outnumbered? Hit them and take off. You follow me? Always have a escape plan.
Because they're not going to just chase after you unless they're idiots, and then
Yeah.
they're easy to pick off.
Yeah. What about a good point man? But we're talking about DeSayas. He was the king of all point men. DeSayas, he's supposed to come back. He said he's coming back. And we'll do point man training down here. I know when I was point man for him, you learn a lot. I mean, it is a good point man is Wolfer's weight in gold. Because he'll be able to see footprints, know if somebody's been through here or not. He'll be able to see terrain, danger areas. He'll take you to rough terrain. Again, what's the best way to avoid an ambush? Don't walk into it. That means what's called the cross. You ever heard the cross grid method when you were traveling? That's where you just don't take an asthma, you just shoot an asthma and you just walk straight whatever around trails. You go through some of the roughest grounds, zigzag, avoid all danger areas. You know what I mean? If there's a hill, you go around the hill, go up over the hill as a team, you follow me? That's how you avoid an ambush. You follow me? You just don't go down into it or you clear them, you follow me? And a good point man has to be able to read the terrain, read his maps, know that I don't want to take a team because we're going to go down this way, no matter how long it takes. And I tell you what, being up to Sayus, you will travel on some of the most roughest grounds you ever saw, but we never got shot up.
It's very effective. I